cards and then get back to partying and enjoying. If you haven't had a chance, come right here. Make sure you get a picture with it. Get a drink with it. So we're going to start off real quickly with Colm. He has a few words.
Russell's here.
All right, so everybody, first of all, job well done this season. Before we get started with the ceremony, we have a word for our sponsors. We do a lot of work during the year. We pay our dues. We do a lot of fundraising, but nothing that we do would be possible without the help of our sponsors. So we want to say a few good words about them. First of all, new sponsor this year that we have, Touch This Media, led by our good friend Peter Conway. And John Grant, who can't be here with us today. He's up in LA. So I know a lot of you know Peter. Some of you might not. Peter is actually one of the very first St. Peter's members. Back when we were in 2009, there was 3 of us coming out for practice down at Robb Field, and the 4th was Mr. Peter Connolly, who came out and gave us early instruction, and over the past 7 years, he's still been an active member in the club, helping us secure our nonprofit membership through his contacts. He's helped train our players, and they also made a generous donation this year from Touch This Media. That donation helped us get our new jerseys that we wore this year. All through the year, 2 championships for our 7th tournament and for Seattle. Not to mention a runner-up in the Denver tournament, and a few times also in between, and we're looking forward to wearing those jerseys for the next 3 years. Peter, I want to say thank you very much for your help and support. We look forward to it. Present you and Mr. Grant with your own St. Peter's Touch This Media jerseys.
Hey, you bought them.
Thank you. And a round of applause for Peter, John, and
Put up lift to touch this. Take the flash as
All right. So the second recognition we just like to make real quick is to company CTE and my father-in-law Tom Gato. He's not able to make it out tonight because he's not feeling well. But for the past, I think 4 or 5 years, they've made very generous donations to the clubs, helped us with everything from field rental, equipment, the infernal goals that we break down and set up every week. You have him to thank, don't blame me. No, but without those goals, we'd be playing on artificial turf or open fields. And then also our new practice jerseys. So we've worn these in our practices, and we'll be presenting this to him next chance we get.
So if you ever see him, really give him a nice thanks, because there are literally years where we wouldn't have had Slitters to play with if it wasn't for his generosity. It's like Colm said, it's been a number of years, and we really thank you and your family for it.
And last but not least, I want to thank Stephen Ahern and Irish Outreach.
Hey,
Stephen. Stephen also one of the first members, 2009, 2010, when he came in from Limerick. He went back home for a while, but has rejoined us. But Irish Outreach is just an incredible organization here in San Diego. It provides all sorts of help to the Irish community, not just for hurlers. But he's been a great help for the hurlers that want to come here. He's usually one of the first points of contact that they find. He helps get them situated, jobs, places, all that you speak of it. He puts a lot of work and effort into it. And
Is that your favorite cream?
And I'll turn it over to our coaches. What do you know? And Steve.
Anyone who's used to my speeches on the field, this is going to be a little different. It won't be as forceful. No, just thanks everyone for coming, and there's a lot of people who couldn't be here tonight as well, who put in a lot of effort during the year, so I just want to say a lot of thanks to them. First people I want to say thanks to, I said it in Seattle, but it probably makes more sense to say it here, as there'll be more here, but to the wives and families, for allowing everyone to come to train. There's a lot of time taken away from wives and families, and it's appreciated. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Next, I suppose I'd like to thank Woody, Stephen, Noel, who's not here, and anyone else who put in a lot of effort this year on the sideline, helping me and Woody and Stephen out as well. A lot of effort. You'd be surprised what goes on behind closed doors. So put your hand put your hands together for the lads. And last but not least, just to all the players, lads, this is what it's all about. All that effort, all that running on the beach, all that listening to me shouting and bawling and doing all the drills, all that tedious work. Here it is. Yeah. Here it bloody is, lads.
Right, guys, thanks everyone. I just really quickly just want to say, I mean, in terms of, I think what the GA are trying to achieve around the world, I think there's two aims. One is to give Irish immigrants an opportunity. It gives us a home from home being involved, and also to grow the game with native players here. Now, I don't think there's a club in America that are achieving both goals as successfully as St. Peter's at the moment. I think the club was founded by Americans. They've welcomed the Irish guys here. We're so grateful for the welcome we've been given. I think I think this is the true heart. A club like ours is the true heart of a club of what GA should be like in America, and I think to win that final this year, I mean, we played a really good team. I think everything had to come together from, like Noel said, the contribution of wives, girlfriends, children, the way that everyone came together and scrimmaged all year long. The way a lot of people up in Seattle didn't get a lot of time in the pitch. Nobody complained all weekend long. So it really is a club that looks to be doing everything right, and just congratulations to everyone.
So I'll just reiterate one thing, because it can't be emphasized enough, the family members that let us go out and do this. Looking at my wife right there. It really does take a toll to give up every Sunday and every Thursday to what we do for fun. So we should all be very thankful that we're allowed to do that. So, guys, look around you. This is just amazing, this turnout. As you get older, you'll look back on things like this with great fondness. So really take it in and enjoy it. Enjoy this year. Enjoy where we're going as a club. This is a great group of people. I am very thankful that you've allowed me to be part of this group, and look forward to hopefully a little bit more time. Looking back to the beginning of the year, you guys have been at this since March. I mean, think about that, all the dedication, people playing through injuries, people giving up their weekends, people giving up their Thursdays. I look back to our first scrimmage up in Rancho Bernardo way back in March, and I think it's the one time since we've had this club that there was a downpour, there was a drench on our scrimmage, and I just look back and it was surely a predestination that we were going to go to Seattle, the rainiest city in the world, and we we're going to win a tournament. We've been at this a while. I guess we just had to move up to B to finally win a tournament. C was too tough. We're definitely heading in the right direction. next year we're going to have 2 teams, and I think we're going to have 2 very, very competitive teams. So I watched the A tournament while we were up there. There's nobody up there that would run us off the field. I think we would have stood a chance to win the A tournament this year. So, you know, everybody gear up, be ready. We're going to have a competitive C team. We're going to have a competitive A team. And it's all because of you guys. I mean, you're a great, great group of people. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's enjoy tonight and get ready for next year. So thank you all. Now, he hates it when I do this. He would have said no if I asked him beforehand. But we're going to ask Ronan, our team captain, to...
Where's the wisdom? Where's the wisdom? Make the better speech in Seattle.
You can't top that. No, it's honestly, I was honored to be asked to be captain this year, and same thing, great group of lads. Everybody put in a whole lot of work, dedication all year, and we got what we deserved. You know what I mean? And same again next year.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So what we're going to go through next and hand out medals for the folks that were on the panel up in Seattle. Now the GAA and all their forward-looking thought that they put into these things gave us 20 for a panel of 26. So we're going to ask for a few of these back after we hand them to you. But we do have more on the way, so everybody that was in Seattle will get one eventually. So as we call it, your name, come on up. Is there somebody? Yeah.
Someone with a camera.
Anybody? All are forward thinking. Can somebody take photos?
Yeah. Kate took all the photos again in Seattle.
All right. There's going to be some people that aren't here tonight. We'll call out their names. One person is Dermot. Dermot is one of the heart and soul players of the team, and I think that really showed at Nationals because he showed up injured. He put in a year's worth of work. He could have hobbled out on that field and been a detriment to our club, but he was forthright. He said, you're better off putting somebody else in. He put in a year's worth of work. He traveled to Seattle, and he was enough of a team guy to stay off the field and help in other ways. So Dermot is certainly...
Right, this next person, where do I begin? Stephen O'Hearn is he put in some serious dedication this year and other years previously. Now I'm only after coming in the last 2 years, so I'm only after seeing it in the last 2 years. But definitely Stephen is he's one for the long road. He's he's there every Tuesday evening, and the poor old devil didn't even get time in Seattle. And I know for a fact he would have loved to be now on the field. So a big round of applause for Stephen O'Hearn.
Okay, the next guy is another guy who is selfless. He's there. He's doing things for the team. He's hauling goals. He's always there. He doesn't care if he plays fullback, full forward, midfield. He's always there to do whatever the team needs. He traveled to Seattle, and unfortunately didn't get a lot of playing time, but I mean, he's there for whatever the team needs, and that's Jeff.
The spuds are boiling!
That's our goalie.
As long as they pull forward.
And this next guy is, again, a lot of dedication, and to be honest, when I'm his age, I want to be where he is at, still playing. He's one of the greatest characters on our team, Mr. Russell McHugh.
On the legend!
On Leitrim.
Russell and Russell.
I bet you never won in 1974 Junior C. Unbelievable.
All right, the next guy, you're going to hear this a lot tonight, but you really can't say enough about what he does for the club. This is a guy who does a lot away from the pitch as well as on the pitch. He's always there training. He's always willing to do whatever the team needs. It happens to be your club president, Mr. J.
This next guy, he joined us this year. In a lot of work restrictions, but he was probably in bed maybe at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was still getting up for training. Taylor.
Keep smiling. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, the next guy's only been at this a few years, but you really wouldn't know it if you see him play. Particularly this last year, the level of improvement is just phenomenal, and I hope he really stays with this game. And that's Max. Just a little story from Seattle. Max got in, I think it was in the semifinal game, and I could see him running in from the sideline. In his eyes, he was just scanning the field. I'm like, wow, that's a little unusual. The ball comes in, goes to his guy, and I just see him. He doesn't even try to play the ball. He just goes right through his guy, smack on the ground.
I got the baseball.
Hey, there's a string of guys who aren't here yet, so we'll just go through these folks. Mr. Alex, the youngest guy on the team. He's gonna be a good. What's that?
He's 21 soon.
Next year.
Obviously, I'm not because I have to hold it out here to read it. Owen Clavin, who is not able to be here, but he definitely put in some training time this year. We appreciated him up in Seattle. Next one is James, James did a hell of a job up in Seattle. He stepped in at midfield, and he really put a stop to some good offensive players. The next fella got his medal, and he's already back in Ireland, and that's Dean, young guy who came over for the summer. And from the second he got here, he was at training. Really appreciate his effort.
This next guy, I tell you one thing, I would be afraid going in marking him. He did an absolute beast of a job in Seattle. It's the one, the only, the beast, Jemison.
Go under.
If you can fit. The shorts are all tight. Shorts are all tight.
Shorts are always tight.
Yeah. Shirts are tight, shorts are tight. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm not going to tell the stories of Seattle.
You got it?
Jemison.
You didn't try the under.
Good job, Jemison.
Wait, can you look at me and one, two,
Nice job, man, man.
thanks, guys.
He's since I'm not original, then the next guy you really can't say enough about what he's done for the club. This is a guy, I could go through everything he's done, but you all know. Former president, former team captain, a founder. He's helped us through everything from nonprofit status to goals to sponsors. What can you possibly say about Paul?
Good photo, guys.
So this next guy is probably going to kill me for saying this, but I had to get onto him an awful lot this year in regards to training. He would not be on the team. Ollie Fry told him to get out and shake his ass. Young Francis. That's all you're getting from me, boy.
Such a great smile.
That's all you're getting from me, my friend. Shake it, big boy, shake it.
Next guy, I mentioned that we had some players play through injury this year. The next guy played through a fairly significant injury. We were quite concerned he wasn't going to be able to make nationals, but he came out probably before he should have. He did a lot for the club from the very beginning, from things like designing shirts to being there every single practice that I can remember. I just can't thank him enough for what he did, and that's Tommy.
This next guy is an absolute workhorse on the field and an absolute gentleman off the field. Can I speak?
No,
I give you your spiel, that's all you're getting. I can't speak highly enough, but Owen.
That's a really good photo, though. It's the latest
Next guy's not here right now. I think he's going to join us later. Another guy that's been around for a while who will literally do anything for the team. No matter where you ask him to line out, no matter what you ask him to do, he's going to give it his all. That's Eli. The next guy was an absolute beast at Nationals. And he's a guy who joined us about mid-year this year, but was as dedicated as anybody once he got here. He was at all the practices. He was helping the less experienced guys. He was doing whatever we asked him to do, and then more. And that's Koffel.
This next guy, I suppose I don't even know where to start. As soon as he came out, he arrived from Ireland Thursday, and he was out training Thursday evening. And after that, he missed one training session. And Yeah, he missed one training session.
Shouldn't be here then.
He was an absolute hero in Seattle. Now, I give him a lot of shit, but he knows at the back of it, it means a lot to us. And Lee, I think, can't say
MVP.
Another guy that was just really impressive in Seattle. You know, I was probably 100 yards away from where he was, but he impressed me from even back then. Scored a lot of points and just showed a lot of determination. Fought through a lot up there. Very impressive, and that's Sean.
This next guy has impressed me since my very first training with St. Peter's, which is what, January 2 years ago now. I was, to be honest, I was kind of surprised how good he was being an American. No offense to the Americans. But one thing that I always got onto him for, he was a very big man and he never used his size. But once I shook him a little and told him to start using that size, he started to absolute dominate. And this year it really showed in Seattle. He was an absolute beast. Justin.
Just if you guys can make your drinks to the bar, then I'll get it out that maybe we can eat Costello.
Say peace.
Do you have a walk?
I've also seen nice videos and nice
Okay, the next guy, I remember the first time he came out. At that time, we were having separate sessions for beginners because it was kind of crazy at the regular practices. And I remember he, along with several other at that session, you could just tell right away he was a natural and he was going to be very good at this game. And it definitely proved out. He's somebody who fights through injuries, and he has in the last few years. I know he's had knee problems, but he's still out there doing what he can, and that's often a lot. You know, I think back to specifically the Sevens tournament where you know, he scored a lot of impressive goals, and up in Seattle again he was carrying around these big fullbacks that knew how to play the game. Really impressive up there as well. You know, what else can you say? But great job, Ryan.
That's good.
This next guy, again, where do I start? I have so much to talk about, each one of you, because I have so much respect for everyone. But this guy I have a lot of respect for. He's as dedicated as anyone there is between training and for the club. As soon as we won in Seattle and I go running up to him and I could see in his eyes, I could see how much it was after meaning to him after winning. I could go on forever, but our captain, Ronan Keane.
Alright, so the reason we have this cup is because of everybody here, all the family, all the players that couldn't even go to Seattle, but we're out there every year, or all year, you know, giving us numbers during the scrimmages, helping bring our skill levels up. So can I get a real quick round of applause for all the other players who couldn't make it to Seattle? Without these next two guys, we would just be a bunch of idiots out there trying to do our own thing. And they kind of whipped us into shape. They formed us into a team. You know, we've had some great coaches. Dury was a great coach. But I think having players out there on the field playing against us, knowing our strengths and our weaknesses, you know, to line us out in the best possible spot to give us the best possible chance to win was huge. So this first guy, when he joined the team, I thought he was the best hurler I'd ever seen. And, you know, he's had some problems staying healthy, but he's been out there, and he's one of the, not only does he have the skill, but he's one of the most physical guys I've ever gone up against. And that's Noel. Woody is one of the old school guys. Woody's one of the most, if not the most intense player on that field. He's the only one that I thought physically wanted to hurt me when I used to mark him. And I think he purposely did try to hurt me a few times. Especially my first year. I went home with a lot of bruises because of Woody, but he toughened me up and he made me the physical player I am today. And he's great at whipping us to shape. He's great at selling us down, and you know, he's an OG. So what can you say?
So, well done, everybody.
Just one thing, lads, just kind of my final note is this took a hell of a lot of work to get. Next year we're going Junior A, and it's going to take even more work than it did this year. So each and every one of you knows what it takes. So be prepared. And it starts next week with the box hurling. That's where it begins. And not only are we going to have one team next year, we're going to have two teams. So we're going to need every single player we can get to get up there. And guys, these county medals don't come around too fucking often. Appreciate that. Seriously. They do not come around too often. Appreciate it.
Just to close it down before we continue the festivities, I remember right before the whistle blew, San Jose had a penalty shot. And I looked in the eyes of everybody that was back near the goal. And you could just see the full year of work and the determination, and there was no doubt that goal wasn't going in. Can't be prouder to be associated with a group of guys. You know, we've been at it a while, and I've always thought it would be cool to win one of these tournaments, but just when it happened, and I looked into Ryan Jameson's eyes, and I looked into Ronan's eyes, and Colm's eyes, and Steven, and the entire team, it was such a cool realization that we had did it as a club, and it truly was a club win. And embrace it, enjoy it, remember it, because they don't come along very often. But I tell you, we can go out and we can win 2 cups next year. There's no doubt in my mind. New players, Henry, Ben, Chris, You guys, you're the future, and you're all good. We had a lot of new guys this last year join the team that are going to push established players for playing time. So keep it up. Get out there and get your touch this offseason. Hit against a wall. Go out to a field and, half the Americans have trouble hitting on the sprint. Just work on those little things, and you're going to be better come spring. And enjoy it, guys. You deserve it. You got it. You got it.